This is Bob. Bob is a long-necked giraffe, but the rest of his community has short necks. He and his friends usually feed off of the small, low-lying shrubs on the ground. However, due to the competition with other species, low-lying shrubs became scarce and started to deteriorate. His friends started to find less and less food to eat, but since Bob had a long neck, he started to feed off of the tall trees. Due to the lack of food, the giraffes with small necks started dying, while Bob and other giraffes with longer necks started reproducing and passing on their genes to their offsprings, resulting in the whole population over thousands of years to have longer necks. But how does this happen? A philosopher named John Baptist Lamarck explained that giraffes stretched their neck more and more over time until the existence of the modern giraffe. But wait, if this really was the case, then if everyone shaves off their heads, then our children should be born bald. But that doesn't really work like that. Individual efforts cannot lead to adaptation. So then how does this process really work? An English naturalist named Charles Darwin discovered this phenomenon by observing various species around the world and came up with the theory called natural selection. Natural selection is the process whereby organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. While studying the Galapagos finches, Darwin found that 13 different species of finches each differentiated in beak size, and concluded that they all share a common ancestor. Over time, the finches that had the better suited traits for survival in their respective environments were selected and reproduced as their traits were passed on to their offsprings. Simply put, this is the survival of the fittest, meaning that the organisms that best fit their environment reproduce, whereas the organisms that don't die off. This breakthrough led to Darwin's 5 principles of natural selection. Number 1. Variations exist within populations, meaning that individuals in a population can vary. People have different traits and different forms. Number 2 is variations of phenotypes. This means that heritable information can be passed on to offsprings. Number 3. Organisms produce more offspring than can survive. This means that there's more population than the actual resources available. This can create competition for an environment and lead to a population decrease. Number 4. Individuals with variations best suited for the habitat survive and reproduce. This brings back to the idea of survival of the fittest. The organisms with stronger traits reproduce and pass on their genes to the next generations, but the ones with weaker traits die off. And finally, number 5. A population will change over time. Just like the giraffes, because of the competition, the giraffes with longer necks were better suited to have easy access to food and resources by being able to reach the tall trees, resulting in the giraffes to pass on those traits to the next generations, changing the whole population over thousands of years. The process of natural selection allows us to change along with the world. It helps species to be well suited for their environments by passing on their strong genes and eliminating their weak ones. Finally, this is natural selection. Thank you for watching my video.